Party, ex-vote of Kwara State and senator representing Kwara Central, has been elected as the new president of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Every community in an African setting is a product of culture and tradition. Therefore, culture and tradition stands as inseparable and desirable components of preserving the identity and economic activities of the community that holds onto them. Like any community with distinct culture and tradition, Ilorin, the ancient capital of Kwara State, is also a city with a difference. As a way of sustaining tradition for forthcoming generation, the teaching and learning of the Holy Quran is embedded in the tradition of the town. A visit to various households in the interior part of the city would validate the position that tradition of the people is tied to Islamic scholarship. In recent times, it has also developed to become the hub of Nigeria's legal system and politics. The concept of naming some houses in the city was derived from the type of occupation or vocation they do. Compounds like Onigijikpa, Onidiku, Alaro, among others, historically got those names from what they got their daily bread from. This is Itaogumbo community. This is Isalia Luku. And this is the Resilient Artifact. Weaving of hand-woven textile, otherwise known as Aso-Oke, is one of the most popular small and medium-scale enterprise. The handcrafted textile industry has unique and strategic capacities. Besides its cultural importance, it provides employment for both men and women. Its occupational engagement transcends age, gender, and status, as it is very popular among the Yorubas and Igbos.
Aso-Oke is as old as Kuma itself in Ilorin. Aso-Oke, as we were told, started around 1894, precisely at an area called Adangba. From there, it gained prominency among the Ilorin people, and it spread all over everywhere, nooks and crannies of Ilorin town.
The hand-woven textile is called Aso-Oke by the people of Kwara, Kogi, Ibadan, and Osun. It is called Aso-Oke by many Lagosians, but people now call it any of the two.
The first set of Aso-Oke is a kind of hangover. It is not done on the rear as it were now. As a result, it is named because it was hung there as Aso-Oke, meaning the clothes were weaved in the hide. That's what it entails. But now you discover it is weaved in the rear.
It is an independent occupation and is also a family occupation. If you hail from a family of weavers, you must have an idea of it. The Vice Chancellor of Kwara State University was a weaver at a point, and there are about 2 to 3 Kwasu lecturers that are weavers, and there are some who come here for apprenticeship. Father is not a weaver, he is an Islamic cleric. It is an occupation you learn depending on how fast you master the skills, as it does not have a stipulated time of apprenticeship. According to research, Aso-Oke of the southwestern and northern Nigeria suffers identical traits with the issue of gender sentiment. When our forefathers started this profession, It was just a male-dominated occupation, as it is a very tedious work. Women also need to attend to other household chores, which they are known for in the African society.
Like every other profession, in Nigerian setup, there is what we refer to as male-dominated business. Let me give you an instance, mechanics now. If you go through major mechanic centers, it is highly dominated by men. Somebody is doing something that fetches money in a particular place and all other people are watching. The next thing is they want to imitate, they want to do the same thing, and that to an extent, that was what caused or created the proliferation people are doing, because it has a lot of economic advantage.
There are two types of weaving loom. This is the first type. It is called twilling loom. It is common in Ilorin, Ekiti, and some parts of Oyo. The major disadvantage it has is that when it is rainy, it can't be used because the weavers will get wet. This is another type of loom. It is called traditional strip loom. The advantage this has is that when it is raining, the weavers can't get wet and weaving can continue. This is called alefi, where the thread is stretched on, just as we have it on the twilling weaving loom, and then the staff is here. You then sit and weaving starts. Aso-Oke has gone through a lot of reconfiguration processes, as it has undergone several changes, especially in the aspect of production. After the wool and other materials has been sourced for, the next process is to put the thread in the roller. You then take it up from the rollers so as to give the fabric a crisp and semi-stiff appearance. It is dipped into starch. You then put it in sun to dry. It is then soaked back in water. It is dried a bit before it is moved into the roller. It is then rolled into smaller parts into the reed. The horizontal thread is rolled out by the external rollers into the metallic pegs, and threads are arranged according to the color you want the finished product to look like. It is then stretched across the weaving loom into the shuttle, then weaving can start. As part of the evolutionary trait of the textile industry, thread are now being imported or produced by metropolitan industry, which comes in ready-made colors. Thread is an essential part of Aso-Oke production. It is far beyond what it used to be in textile production. These are different types of thread, but they perform the same function. The major differences is the thickness and price. Crentex is imported from China through Lagos, while the globe thread is produced in Lagos. There are different equipment that are used in weaving Aso-Oke. They include agborin, omu, asha, aruko, odada, and ainsho. Aso-Oke is a day-to-day occupation, and the duration of work depends on the weaver's strength and ability. If there is a drop in sales, we also reduce the production rate as it obeys the law of demand and supply. The major types of Aso-Oke are Sanya, Alari, and Etu. Due to modernization, the likes of takunsi, plain and pattern, silk, nets, and others, which is a copy of the Western wares, are used by different people for various functions. Textile materials can be used to make design on accessories and other materials. Aso-Oke can be used as a design on shoes, bags, hand fans, and all other accessories that the body embodies. The traditional types of Aso-Oke can't be hand or machine washed. If it is soaked in water, it will be destroyed. So what we do is to beat the Aso-Oke with a club. Then it becomes neat and radiant again. How Aso-Oke is being measured is quite different from other fabrics. Aso-Oke measurement is done by placing the double length of this ruler, which is 60 cm, which forms a fold of Aso-Oke. Those who sell it for us call it yard, and this is threefold, which is used for headgear by the wife, and the remaining fold to be used as cap by the husband. Their production process and pattern determine their price. This single pattern type is sold for 5,000 naira per pack, and the double is sold for 6,000 naira per pack.
In every ceremony, there's no amount of modern fabric we use that will be as good as Aso-Oke. People will normally wear modern fabric higher in cost than the original owner, than the original celebrant. But when celebrant uses Aso-Oke, it is served as a special distinguished factor. It is there you know the real celebrant. Apart from that, Aso-Oke is serving as forex. People ship Aso-Oke to overs, and the money accrued comes to Nigeria, and from there the GDP of the country improves.
Aso-Oke is synonymous to the Yoruba people, which is used for wedding, naming, and other ceremonies. We want to use this for nikah so that our friends can also use it with us.
It is very expensive. Unlike other fabrics, modern fabrics, when you have 1,000 naira, take for example, you can buy modern fabrics and put on top and down. But in Aso-Oke, it is a bit expensive. Reason for this is the high cost of production.
Entrepreneurship involves the discovery, evaluation, and exploitation of opportunities to introduce new goods and services, and also the market organization structure. Small and medium-scale enterprise attempt to satisfy ostensibly employment challenges in order to stimulate innovation and advancement. There are those who come here to get Aso-Oke in large quantity, and the price ranges from 5,000 naira to 10,000 naira per 5 yards, depending on the type of Aso-Oke. Quantex is sold at Lagos price for 240 naira per cone, and 500 naira will be charged on transport cost per carton, and we pay 11,000 naira for a full bus. We then sell it for about 270 naira to 350 naira due to dollar to naira exchange rate.
Presently, the level of profit margin has dropped not because people are not patronizing, but dropped because of the high cost of production. But we're still wriggling away, and people are making 1 or 2 pen. A lot of them depends mainly on Aso-Oke today. A lot of schoolboys who happens to be in universities today are doing this job to sustain themselves, and that shows a little profit is coming graciously and consistently. Every 17 days, we normally travel to either Ibadan in Oyo State and Oyo again in Oyo State too. Those are the people going to that end. Another set of people do go to Lagos this time around on daily basis. So there are a lot of potential buyers there. There are those who are potential buyers, and there are those who are commercial buyers. So they distribute through that channel. Some of us who had privilege of having an international market, we go through NIPOST to send some of our goods.
In every business, there is a problem of fund, but this is not a major challenge that is facing Aso-Oke weavers, as the government are not placing ban on the importation of replica Aso-Oke from China, and government has made it clear to us that the importation of Aso-Oke won't be banned because they are getting a lot of import duties from the importation of this textile.
People in government, by the time they're using this thing, it will serve as a booster to the less, the common one. So they want to use the same thing. But in a situation where they're not using it, they're using forex material. So at the detriment of this, people are no longer buying. But if they are using it, people want to. Like if our governor is using Aso-Oke to make shoes, I would want to, as an ordinary man, want to do the same thing. But nobody is doing that. So to a large extent, the level of patronage on the part of government is so weak. If it exists at all.
Thread used for Aso-Oke production was at the time produced in Ilorin. Because of the problem of power supply, then the company moved to Lagos and Kano, but left Nigeria due to the decline in Aso-Oke demand and the importation of second-hand clothing. This is what killed the entire textile mill in Nigeria. The overall textile industry is in crisis. Average capacity utilization rate has fallen from 79.7% in 1976 to 38% in 2012.
We've been to Kwara State University at Malete. We were thinking if there's anything the institution can do in terms of production in mass of cotton. We have met with the present VC, that is the Vice Chancellor of the institution, and to a large extent, he has set up a powerful delegation to work on certain things just to ensure that we produce locally raw material instead of us importing. Again, on the issue of the dumping of Aso-Oke from China, I think I'm part of the delegation too. We met with the distinguished Senate President, and we were told that they're going to do something to it at the national level. Apart from that, we are also thinking of collaborating with major commercial banks, if they can, to a large extent, offer some of our members a soft loan with little or no collateral.
Àbúrò ọmọ wúrà mọ́tò káàbọ̀ ṣe dáadáa lóde olùfẹ́ mi. Rántí pé àbọ̀ ẹ̀fọ́ ò ṣe é jíjẹ́ o, àbẹ̀ni tó bá kàwé ẹ̀ gidi.
Àwọn tó máa ń hún ní kọ̀ọ̀kọ̀ọ̀.
If weaving is done indoor or in a factory, it will reduce the efficiency of our work and the communal relationship among us. The ones produced in factories are substandard, as their quality cannot match ours. Also, if it is done indoor, your purpose of coming here won't be achieved, and if you are trying to get in, you will be seen as an intruder or even as a thief. The opportunity of small and medium-scale enterprise in Nigeria to rebound and play a crucial role of industrialization, poverty eradication, and wealth creation. Aso-Oke weavers themselves need to change their attitude and habit relating to entrepreneurship development. Culture and tradition are meant to change with time. This is the 21st century. This is the century of innovation and creativity. The current efforts to strengthen the value of Naira could only materialize when locally made products are prioritized and exported. Aso-Oke can be a means of identity and foreign exchange, as it was a major source of revenue in Ilorin in the 19th century, just as Malaysia is the #1 oil palm producing country, as it got the orientation on how to generate income from palm produce from Nigeria years ago. Aso-Oke can be an indirect way of imitating the outside world of what bound an African culture and showcasing our pride, just the way the Scottish traditional kilt has become a casual wear for Scotch and people from other parts of the world. Weaving Aso-Oke is more than weaving just a cloth, but it conveys class, status, position, history, and origin. This is the resilient artifact that cannot be killed.
Onídàá